The highlight of this week's parsha, or should I say the low light of this week's parsha, Parshas Ki Savo, is the Tochacha, the rebuke. And it is a series of psukim, very heavy, very hard to read, speaks about all of the terrible tragedies that will befall the Jewish people if we don't observe Hashem's Torah. We read it in a very low tone because it's not something that we're proud of. It's something that causes a lot of fear. And the Gemara has a very interesting comment. Gemara Maseches Megillah says that Ezra Hasofer, Ezra decreed that this parsha, that this tochacha, this rebuke, is read every year at this time of year, a couple of weeks, right, 2 weeks before Rosh Hashanah. And he says, the Gemara says that what's the reason that Ezra decided to do this? So the Gemara says in the name of Abaye, and others say it was the name of Reish Lakish, Kedei shetichle hashana v'kilaloseh, so that the year and its curses end. Meaning, we are reading the curses that are in the Torah at the end of the year, and they should be over with and done with. So the Tiferes Shlomo suggests that there's even a deeper meaning to this. And he says, there's a concept of unishalma parim sifasenu, which means that we replace the oxen with our lips. In other words, we have an obligation when the Beis Hamikdash was around to bring korbanos, to bring sacrifices. Not only was it an obligation, but was an opportunity. If a person sinned, for example, they would bring a korban, a sacrifice, in lieu of the sin, or to show that they were doing tshuva, that they were repenting for that sin. The fact that we no longer have a Beis Hamikdash, so what we do is that we read the psukim, we read the verses that describe all of the sacrifices that were brought in the Beis Hamikdash. So, for example, when it comes to our various chagim, holidays throughout the year, we read the various psukim that describe the korbanos that were brought on that given chag throughout the year. Read this over and over, and that's called the Neshalma Parim Sifasenu. So the Tiferes Shlomo says, if chas v'shalom, there was a decree upon the Jewish nation, upon the Jewish people, which was not good, which included curses. So instead of us actually being exposed to those curses, if we read about those curses, it is as if they were fulfilled and we don't have to deal with them in real time and in the real world. In other words, we read about the curses now so that we never have to face them, that we understand their message, but that we never have to deal with them in life. Almost to say as if we're reading about the klalos at the end of the year so that we'll be done with klalos, we'll be done with curses, and that the new year that comes in will be only bracha, will be only blessing. And I think that there's something else that we could take away in here, and that is in so many categories and things in life, there is a silver lining. That many times something appears to have something very negative or very bad. And we search and we try to find something positive. And we may be surprised that if we do our due diligence in really searching, that we can find a silver lining in something that appears to have only had a negative component. And this is the example of that. Here's the tochacha. What could possibly be positive out of the tochacha? And the answer is reading the tochacha, as opposed to experiencing the tochacha, as opposed to experiencing the rebuke. So may we be zoche that indeed this is the case, and the words of Tiferes Shlomo are fulfilled, and that all of the curses of this year end, and that we, the Jewish people, and all of us as a community, as individuals, are blessed in a little less than 2 weeks with a Shana Tova Umesuka, with a sweet, happy, and healthy coming 5780. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.